along to the Vanarama National League highlight show on BT Sport. With clubs at the highest level out of action due to the international break at the weekend, it was a chance for football fans across the nation to celebrate non-league day. A poor start to the season for Braintree resulted in the departure of Brad Quinton from Cressing Road last week. Former boss Hakan Hayrettin has been reinstated as a caretaker manager, but he faced the daunting task of preparing the Iron for a trip north to Salford City for a top versus bottom clash. The Ammies had earned their #1 status with a 7-game winning run going into their latest encounter at Moor Lane, but Graham Alexander will be well aware of the danger posed by Leyton Orient and Harrogate. The game got off to the worst possible start for Braintree, who went a goal down in the opening 60 seconds. The long clearings finding Rory Gaffney, who fought off 2 defenders before poking it home past Ben Killip. But they went into the break level when a handball from Salford defender Ibu Toure gifted a penalty to the visitors. Mo Bettimer beating Chris Neal at the left-hand post. Adam Rooney may have been making the headlines recently, but Gaffney was the star man for Salford this time, almost making it 2-1 with a shot stinging the palms of Killip. Braintree were making it a contest and were rewarded on 74 minutes when they took the lead. Rhys Grant with the break, passing to Bettimer, who took his time before beating Neal for the second time in the game. Grant threatened again minutes later, going for goal himself this time, only beaten from distance by the crossbar. With seconds to play, Salford restored their unbeaten home record. Substitute Devante Rodney almost getting the winner, but it was Gaffney with the finish and his 5th of the season.
It's not always going to be 3 and 4-0. We have to dig results out sometimes when we're not on top, when we're not playing well, and we didn't play well today. We have to be honest with ourselves there, but you have to give Braintree credit as well. After a great start for us, they made it difficult for us to break them down in certain areas, and they had a real threat on the counter attack. They got the couple of goals from it, which put us under massive pressure.
I can't ask for no more of the team. They worked tirelessly, hard, effortlessly to try and get the results. Did the right things in the right areas, and I'm pleased that we got something out of the game. Fantastic performance.
Having conceded 22 goals in 15 National League matches, struggling Dagenham and Redbridge hosted promotion-chasing Wrexham. Past the half-hour mark in East London, Stuart Bevan flicked on for the hosts. Jordan Maguire-Drew, however, could only hit the side netting. Then right on half-time, Rakeal Pike found Luke Young. He spectacularly found the top corner, leaving Elliot Justin with no chance. 1-0 to the Dragons. Sam Rickett's men had the best defensive record in the division, but literally seconds after taking the lead, an own goal followed from Brad Walker, so all square at the interval. Right after the restart, Akeel Wright went for goal, denied excellently by the busy Justin. Approaching the final 20 minutes, Kevin Roberts was brought down in the Daggers box by Lamar Reynolds. Penalty given. Luke Summerfield hit the spot, scoring for the first time since August 2016. Wrexham had another late chance with sub Paul Rutherford audaciously chipping the keeper. Teenager Liam Gordon was on hand, though, to keep the score at 2-1. Up to second, Wrexham have won their last 3, all by a single goal.
This was a bit more like it. It's still, unfortunately, another defeat, so that's not good enough, and we're not in a good position. But if you can take some positives out of a defeat, then you then get up for Monday morning and try and prepare the team and get ready for the next match.
It's all change in the National League as Dover Athletic swapped Chris Kinnear for former boss Andy Hesenthaler this week. The now ex-Eastleigh manager won back-to-back promotions during his first reign at Crabble. Now the Whites sit second from bottom with just 1 win in 15 games, meaning the first target for the new man in charge is to stay in the division. Matchday 16 pitted the division's leading scorers against the team demonstrating the worst defence, so the odds of a comfortable afternoon for the visitors at third place Harrogate was slim. A set piece got things going for Town inside half an hour as Callum Howe headed across goal into the path of Aaron Williams, who tapped in his 3rd goal in 3 games. Time to impress the new manager. Step up Ini Effiong, who did just that in the second half, scoring his first goal shortly after the restart to bring Dover level. His second, just 20 minutes later, gave the visitors the surprise lead. The 27-year-old who signed over the summer with a fine solo effort to collect his brace. The fight back was on and keeper Mitch Walker had to be quick to react when Kelvin Langmead headed the ball straight for the target. Walker wasn't able to deny him a second time though, Langmead marking his new deal at Harrogate with an equaliser deep into injury time. The score was settled, but matters between Anthony Jeffrey and George Thompson weren't. An altercation between the two saw Jeffrey given his marching orders. Andy Hesenthaler denied his first win. A point for Harrogate keeps them within touching distance at the top.
Very tight at the top end of the league, and that's where we want to continue to be. It wasn't a great performance, but at least we've come away with a draw.
I was over the moon. I thought second half we were a better team. First half there wasn't a lot in it. And like I said to them before the game, it's criminal if you're going to concede from set plays, and unfortunately that's what we did for the first goal. And I'm gutted for them at the end because they put so much hard work into the game, and I can't ask any more from my players. So
Having won 4 of their last 5, Solihull Moors took on Ebbsfleet United, who had won only 1 of their previous 8. With less than 20 minutes gone in the Midlands, Danny Wright set up Jermaine Hilton, who stylishly found the net to already equal the number of goals scored last season, 3. Danny Kedwell had a free kick on the hour mark, and after an initial Ryan Boots save, an own goal was given in the name of Alex Gudger. Fleet were back among the points. But then with the clash 7 minutes away from full-time, Wright and Hilton again asked questions of the visitors' defence. The end of the attack was finished off by Luke Maxwell, who's also on to 3 for the campaign. In form and in the playoffs, Solihull have now won 5 of their last 6.
To Mill Farm, where Fylde were maintaining their promotion ambitions. Dave Challoner's side were unbeaten in 6, keeping a clean sheet in their last 3. Opponents Maidstone were looking to bounce back from a defeat last time out against Bromley. A header from Andy Bond, cleared off the line by Jack Paxman, was the only notable threat from the Coasters in the first half. Some tough talking at the break and the hosts produced the goods. Not before a scare from Paxman though, who almost gave Maidstone the lead when his volley hit the upright. The home fans had to wait 68 minutes before the deadlock was broken, but the goal scorer had waited over a year to score it. Neil Byrne heading in the corner to net his first since August 2017. They say you'll always remember your first goal, and Arlen Birch won't forget his. With a minute left, the former Everton prospect tried his luck from distance, his effort flying into the bottom corner. 3 points for Fylde, but defeat for Maidstone sees them drop a place to 20th.
When it's not going for you, it's not going for you. It's the post, hits the keeper on the back and then rolls across the line. It doesn't go in, and you know yeah, that's the way it is. But then you can't make excuses. We've got to defend better at set pieces.
Once we get the goal, we then relax and we play and we move the ball quicker and we play with more freedom. And like I say, deservedly get the second one, although it was, like I say, a great strike.
Consistent Hartlepool United were in London to face Leyton Orient, whose only loss of the campaign was their last home game against Sutton United. With half-time approaching, James Brophy and Macaulay Bonne linked up, allowing an opening for Craig Clay, who narrowly missed the target. Into the second period, Joe Widowson brought down Michael Woods. The reckless challenge prompted a straight red card from referee Adrian Quelch, leaving Orient to play half an hour with 10 men. Bonne carved an opening for James Allaby, who was denied by Scott Loach. The away side's ex-England under-21 stopper was being kept busy. Following a Joby McAnuff free kick, Marvin Ekpetita went even closer to scoring the opener. With a near 7,000 fans watching, only 3 League One games had bigger crowds on Saturday. At the end, Dean Brill was called into action. It ended up being a first 0-0 draw between the O's and Pools since January 1993.
The National League has chosen Prostate Cancer UK as its first ever official charity partner. Kevin Webber from Epsom in Surrey has undertaken 7 marathons in 7 days in support of Prostate Cancer UK. Kevin's March for Men started last Sunday in Blyth and took him to 10 National League clubs, including Gateshead, Hartlepool, Spennymoor Town and Darlington. He broke the 100-mile barrier getting to York, then Harrogate and Guiseley before reaching Halifax. Meanwhile, National League's chief executive Michael Tattersall and sponsors Vanarama have backed the competition's recent rebrand of Manorama to the tune of £150,000.
Does this obviously great effort from you over the last week come from a personal story?
Yeah, unfortunately I was diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer 4 years ago, and the doctor said I might only live 2 years. So here I am 4 years on, I'm still alive, I'm still defying the odds, but I want to prove to people you can just keep going.
Wins have been at a premium of late for Halifax and Chesterfield. Jamie Fullerton's team has slipped to 13th, whilst Martin Allen's men are without a victory in 12. Time to stop the rot. Your commentators are Adam Virgo and Adam Summerton.
Denton with the header and off the crossbar. So close to his first goal for Chesterfield.
It's the first time really he's had a bit of movement from the throw-in. A lot of the time he's just been stood still and he's just trying to win flick-ons and trying to head it down. That was the first time that he got himself a little yard on Clark. Agonisingly close to hit the crossbar.
Denton finds Savon Hines. Shaw, Denton both in the box. Hines with the ball over. Oh, what a cross it was as well. And Weston was so close to finding the back of the net.
Well, you wonder how this screeds past the post, and when things aren't going right for you in that final third, this is what happens. So what Hines can certainly bring to the plate. Great fizzing ball across, and you'd certainly fancy Curtis Weston to be the man to get that first goal. Unfortunately, no, that's a bad miss as well.
Oh, that's a good flick on, and it's Kozilo round the keeper, and there's the finish. Halifax lead at the Shea, and it's Matty Kozilo on his return to the side today after serving a suspension, who opens the scoring.
Well, Martin Allen will be absolutely furious with this goal. It's just basic defending. Maguire has to read the flick on, and he doesn't. And Kozilo does. And in fairness to him, when you're in a pressure situation like that, you sometimes snap at your chances. We know the ability of this player, we know the quality that he's got, and that is a top finish from him. But what a poor goal for Chesterfield to concede. Such a crucial time in this game.
Shaw, Hines, good feet from Hines, and he's dug out the cross. Bingham Williams gets first to the loose ball. Hines certainly looks like Chesterfield's most likely source of inspiration this second half. Lovely back heel, Bingham Williams, Denton in! It's the law of the X. His first Chesterfield goal comes at the Shea against Halifax. It was always in the script, and Chesterfield have the equaliser. The word from the bench is he was just about to be brought off by Martin Allen.
Well, how big will this goal mean to Martin Allen, and how big will this goal mean to Chesterfield? Just finally a bit of quality. Savon Hines has been excellent since he's come on at half-time, and Bingham Williams hangs it up beautifully. And it's just the strength of Denton. Clark's up against him, pushes him out the way. That's not a foul in my opinion. When you put a bit of quality in like that, and you hang it up for Tom Denton, he'll get goals from this. It's a great header from him. He head it back from where the cross comes from. Always wary of an ex-player coming back to the club. He certainly would have enjoyed that one.
Staunton and Scars and the captain Clark all waiting for this delivery. In it goes from King, and the header is off the crossbar. They're saying it's got in, but the referee's completely unmoved. So close to a winning goal.
Oh, very close, quality ball in. Oh, so unlucky. So unlucky there for Halifax to get that winner.
Having lost 4 in a row, Boreham Wood hosted Maidenhead United, whose previous 2 games had been against the top 2, Salford and Leyton Orient. Right on half-time, Kieran Murtagh had a set piece for the hosts, delivering in style by beating Carl Pentney to make it 1-0. Murtagh's on to 3 for the campaign. Then into the final quarter of an hour, Murtagh was again involved in a Wood attack. Gozi Ugwu crossed for Josh O'Meara, who was adjudged to have been brought down by Chinua Cole. Penalty given. Charlton loanee O'Meara did the business, scoring a 6th of the season. Moments later, Cole was able to make amends for Maidenhead, forcing a parry from Ryan Huddart. Ryan Bird then struck last term for Dover. He hit the target 16 times. Luke Garrard's men weren't to be denied, though. A minute after coming on and at the end of a goal-mouth scramble, Justin Shaibu made certain of all 3 points as Boreham Wood's horror run is over. Maidenhead have lost 3 successive matches at this level for the first time.
A lot of positives. I thought Gozi Ugwu today was fantastic. I thought his work ethic was brilliant. Buzzing that Josh has got his goal, buzzing that Justin Shaibu come off the bench to get his goal. Gutted we didn't get a clean sheet. We worked all week on being very hard to beat and defensive, and I felt that Cole coming in on his left foot opens the pitch up as a snapshot, and look, we all know Ryan Huddart should do better, but we've won a game of football. That's all that matters.
One team in fine form at the moment is Eastleigh, with 4 wins in a row, scoring 5 and conceding just 1. But they were rocked earlier this week when Andy Hesenthaler left for rivals Dover after 10 months in charge. Ben Strevens and Ross Flitney took temporary control as the Spitfires welcomed Aldershot. Eastleigh could boast an impressive record against their Hampshire rivals, going unbeaten in all 8 previous meetings. Time for the Shots to rewrite the form guide. But they had to do it the hard way after going behind in the opening 5 minutes. Paul McCallum judging the long ball perfectly before outmuscling Gabe Osho and slotting home against his former club. The Shots had a glorious chance to respond when Adam McDonnell put Matt McClure clean through on goal, only for him to shoot wide. But 2 goals in 3 minutes shortly after for Gary Waddock's side was enough for them to claim the bragging rights this time. McDonnell playing in McClure again, who hit the post, the rebound deflecting off the unfortunate Redder Johnson for an own goal. McDonnell found himself without McClure moments later and raced through without an Eastleigh defender in sight, 1-on-1 with the keeper, Max Stryek with the save. The resulting corner finished with Aldershot's winner. Scott Rendell poaching at the far post, the referee ruling it crossed the line, confirming their first away win since February.
I wanted to win the game, and I felt that we had a good enough team to win the game. So right now, no, I don't see any positives in the performance, apart from the fact the boys give me their all and they tried their hardest. Their effort and their commitment was there for, you know, of course, Aldershot had a lot of the ball, but they have a lot of the ball against every team they play against. So yeah, I'm just, you know, it's hard for me. I'm sure I'll be better about it tomorrow and better about it on Monday. I'm just well aware now that the next 24, 40 hours I've got to pick the boys back up.
In all 6 National League meetings, Bromley had never lost to Barrow, who came into the clash on the back of consecutive wins for the first time since last November. Neil Smith's men attacked 7 minutes in. A Frankie Raymond cross was powerfully headed in by Omar Bergil, 1-0. Not long after the restart at Hayes Lane, Ian Everett's side sought an equaliser. Following some rather unimpressive build-up, Erico Souza got the better of David Gregory in some style. A brilliant debut goal following a loan move this week from Accrington Stanley. Into the final 15, Raymond became match winner as his whipped free kick evaded everyone and curled into the corner. So Bromley remain undefeated against Barrow and are also unbeaten in their last 4 in the 5th tier.
It's been over a month since Havant and Waterlooville won their last game at Wesley Park, and they were up against it with Gateshead winning their last 3 on the road. A chance fell to Nicky Kabamba to put the struggling hosts ahead, but he could only drag his shot wide. 10 minutes into the second half, the visitors were denied by the woodwork. Tom White squeezing the ball to Stephen Rigg, whose shot bounced off the post. But he found the net heading in the resulting corner for his 5th of the season, making him the club's joint top scorer. The single goal was enough for the Heat to celebrate their 4th win in 5 games. Just 1 point separates the top four in the National League after leaders Salford could only manage a draw with bottom of the table Braintree. Wrexham moved up to second with their third victory in a row after beating Dagenham and Redbridge. 10-man Leyton Orient missed the chance to move top as they were held to a goalless draw at home by Hartlepool. Solihull closed the gap on the top four with victory over Epps. In the bottom half of the table, Bromley continued their impressive recovery in the National League with a win over Barrow. Havant and Waterlooville were unlucky to see their winless run extend to 7 after a narrow defeat at home to Gateshead.
Sutton United were playing again this weekend in the Scottish Challenge Cup, taking on Irish side Bohemians in the last 16. Paul Doswell's men had the best effort of the first half as Craig Eastman fed Tom Bollerimois, who cut inside in Dublin and forced a fine save out of the hosts' keeper Shane Supple. Then in the 92nd minute, Sutton thought they'd secured a spot in the quarters, but Aswad Thomas headed just wide. Penalties it was, leading 3-2. The visitors' Kieran Cadogan couldn't beat Supple. Nor could Eastman, going the other way against a man who's played for the Republic of Ireland's under-21s. And Thomas struck the underside of the bar as Bohemians were victorious. Next for Sutton is Wealdstone next weekend in the final FA Cup qualifying round. In National League South, unbeaten in 8, Slough Town went to fellow promotion challengers Welling United. The hosts had a perfect start as only a couple of minutes in, a Jack Jebb free kick was headed in by Adam Coombs, a man starting his third spell with the Wings. Welling wanted to double their advantage before the break. From his own half, young French midfielder Nassim Legoul drove at the visitors' back line, but the end product was a shot that went agonisingly wide of the post. Immediately after the restart in the capital, a sensational leveller, James Dobson, fired in a brilliant volley past Daniel Wilkes to make it 1-1, game on. With 8 minutes to go, a huge opportunity came for Welling to steal the points as fullback Jordan Gibbons was bundled over by George Wells. Penalty awarded. Coombs was able to make it a dream third debut, scoring a second of the day and the winner with Slough's undefeated run over. Welling go up to second.
That victory for Welling sees them 2 points behind Billericay Town, who beat Gloucester City 1-0. Woking dropped to third after a 1-1 draw with Chelmsford City. Torquay produced a superb second-half performance to beat Eastbourne Borough 4-2 and move up to 8th. In the National League North, 2 late goals saw Kidderminster Harriers earn 3 points and close the gap on league leaders Chorley, who drew 1-1 with Telford United. Clinical finishing from Spennymoor Town saw them move to third after netting 5 past Ashton United. There's still plenty of live action coming up on BT Sport next Saturday. BT Sport Score will keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in from 2:45 on BT Sport 1. That's followed by Premier League action as Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool travel to Huddersfield Town, looking to continue their rich run of form. That's live from 5 p.m. on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD. You can also see the undefeated Anthony Yard take on Walter Sakira as part of Fight Night from 7:30 on BT Sport 3. That's it from the National League Highlight Show. It's been another action-packed weekend, and here's some of the best moments. Thanks for watching.